Welcome back in, everyone. Around the Felt, episode 22, Week 7 preview. I am your host, Colin Tong, with my co-host, Reagan Loescher. Reagan, how are we doing this fine Wednesday?
Oh, pretty good. Just got done coaching the youth, you know. I'm a big-time football coach over there, so...
You want your child being taught football from this guy. He was a fucking stud.
And by stud, I mean, I'd say that's honestly an understatement. I mean,
He was an animal. No one could block him.
I was pretty good.
No one could block him.
I mean,
unblockable. He was the Aaron Donald at Voorhees.
Well, the craziest part
That's why
is...
I didn't play senior year. They didn't want him to.
They're like, you're too good.
Yeah.
I know, I put too many kids in the hospital. It was bad. But I mean, the craziest part is, like, you'll look... Like, any of you guys at the high school, maybe, you'll look and you'll see this name, like, Colin Tong. And it actually is a typo. Like, those are my rushing yards that I did. But all jokes aside... Let's get into the NFL, because as much as I'd love to talk about how good I was of a football player, I think I'm better at judging other people at playing.
Yeah, that's a good call. So, starting with the news, Anthony Richardson officially ruled out for the season with a shoulder. Not good if you're a Colts fan, not good if you're a football fan.
Well, I'm pissed about it, too, because...
some great talent.
I'm pissed because I was one of the most critical guys on him in the beginning because I didn't know, like, I didn't think he was ready, and he was... I mean, I can't even say he proved me wrong because, yeah, he showed flashes, but we've seen such a small sample size of him.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it sucks because I really wanted... I would have been more than okay with being like, yeah, I was wrong on that, but we don't even get to know either way, like, what this guy truly is. I mean, Colts fans, you saw flashes, but at the end of the day, you don't really know what you fully have with this guy because he couldn't stay healthy, so I hope he gets right, and I hope this offseason he works on protecting himself better because from the few games we saw, he wasn't able to do so.
I agree. He definitely needs to protect himself more. If you're a Colts fan, you are happy because everyone in the offseason he's definitely not ready to play. You know, he struggled at college, one-year starter.
Yeah.
The accuracy issues, all that. They didn't win games at Florida. But you saw those flashes of that upside. He only had one interception, which is really good as well. He protected the ball. So I think it's a positive. It's a good start for the Colts. Now, if you're a Colts fan, are you rooting for a full-blown tank, get a draft pick with Minshew at the helm? Because they're 3-3, correct?
Yeah, but no, I don't think you're rooting for the full-blown tank. I mean, you're still right in that division race. Like, you got your quarterback, or you seemingly think you got your quarterback. Like, to me, I only want to tank if I'm going for a quarterback.
Yeah, because the draft's a crapshoot. Like,
and the amount of team. I mean, I guess they could look at it like... You can
find a star at fucking 15 overall.
I guess they could look at it and be like, all right, let's tank, and then we'll trade the pick away. But if I'm a Colts fan, I want this team going all in and trying to win the
you want to
playoffs.
root for your ball club to win. I
mean,
agree.
you paid Jonathan Taylor, too, so you got to think that the team's fully all in on it, which you'd expect.
They got to be. And when Taylor gets back to who he is, you know, they're working him in right now. They can run that offense through him like they did in previous years when they had poor quarterback play.
Mm-hmm.
Your Jets make a decent-sized trade, I guess. They get rid of McCole Hardman, who couldn't see the field for him. Yeah. We kind of saw Joe. I think it was you, Joe, that called it out.
Yeah.
He get traded back to the Chiefs. That's a great call out of Freddie Benson. And so they're swapping late 2025 picks. It's one of those, hey, we'll give you our 7 for the 6. You know, a little move up the board.
I'm happy with that. I mean, we weren't playing them, and now we don't have to pay them, so it works for me.
Yeah, it's fine. You know, hopefully they don't have any injuries and they.
Well, yeah, that's what my brother, who's also a Jet fan, brought up. He's like, oh, well, I just really hope we don't have any injuries now because that's a depth piece that you're trading away. So.
Yeah, we couldn't see the field. And the Chiefs, you know, they bring back Hardman. Apparently they worked out Frank Clark today, or they are tomorrow. So
they're trying
to bring them all back. Yeah.
Bring the band back together.
Yeah.
You know, the vets that seem to just play really well there. Kind of reminds me a little bit about what Belichick does, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that it was Patriot-esque move.
Patriot-esque. Another quarterback news. Trevor Lawrence is questionable tomorrow versus Saints with the knee. Apparently it's a game-time decision.
Well, I mean, if they don't have him...
Yeah, C.J. Beathard would be in line to start, and that Saints defense is very good.
Yeah, because I think it's going to be a close game already.
I think it's going to be a low-scoring, close game.
I think the Saints are going to blow the bricks off of him if Lawrence doesn't play. I mean, I can't see C.J. Beathard...
And by blow the bricks off him, you mean they win like 17-6?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Jags defense is looking
good.
It's more so
we're just going to... I would take Beathard over in turnovers. I mean, it's going to be a crapshoot.
Yeah, if C.J. Stroud throws an interception against that defense, chances are C.J. Beathard will.
Yeah, I mean, they have the same name, so obviously.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's a good analysis there. Go Redhawks.
They're good
against and that's just the things we bring you at Around the Felt. You can't get those kind of analysis from other podcasts.
That's a good point. You know, we fucking dig deeper than everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of you probably
find those golden nuggets.
A lot of you peanut brains out there were probably like wouldn't put CJ and CJ together, but
we did.
It does correlate.
We
does correlate.
And Kyler Murray, Reagan, he returned to practice today. And they're saying a Week 8 return, not this week, next week, is possible. What do you think on that?
I think it's awesome. I hope you guys out there, like I was saying in our fantasy football episode, stashed him on your IR spot. I've done it in a ton of leagues because Kyler Murray, when healthy, is a top 5 fantasy quarterback. I mean, obviously...
Well, last year he didn't run as much as he did in previous years.
We'll see, because we don't know how his running ability will look. But when healthy, he's been one of the best fantasy quarterbacks. So if you're one of those teams that have been plugging and playing every week with your starters, if you have Kyler Murray on the IR... put him right in. Like, I have Mahomes in a league. I still have Kyler Murray on IR because somebody might come and be like,
I need a quarterback. Like me right now, I have Murray stashed in one league. Fields is my starter. Now Fields has a thumb. I don't know, so I got to start fucking Russell Wilson this week.
You don't want to start Wilson?
Well, he's QB 11, so I mean,
not
ideal.
I think it's going downhill for him.
I think it will go downhill too, but they play from behind a lot, so
especially because I fully expect them to be dealers at the deadline. So I think guys like Judy and Sutton could be gone. So I think the offense is only going to get worse.
Yeah, that's a good point. The Eagles signed Julio Jones.
Huge.
I saw someone said on Twitter to like Julio Jones is at that immaculate grid part of his career.
That's huge. I'm happy. I'm happy for Anderson and some of those guys out there.
Yeah, I'm sure Evan's pumped.
He was real quiet.
October, baby.
You were real quiet when my Jets spanked your Eagles, fella.
I hate that it's your Eagles. It grinds my fucking gears. But yeah,
do not want to grind his gears.
Julio is gonna probably come in and have maybe 10 catches the rest of the way, but good depth piece for the Eagles. Guess it'll get the job done.
Yeah, it'll make like the names on their offense scarier.
Wow, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Julio Jones.
5 years ago, we would have been nasty.
Yeah. Roger Goodell signs a contract extension to be the commissioner through 2027.
You love to see it.
I know Goodell gets booed a lot at the draft, but I don't mind Goodell.
Really?
He's all right.
I think he's a fucking coward. No, I'm kidding. I mean, it is what it is. I think no matter who they put there, we're not gonna love him and not gonna hate him. It's just kind of you need somebody to be the hated guy.
Yeah, I mean he's all right. Nothing special.
I like him more than Silver.
Yeah, I'm
trying to think of others.
Yeah, I think
Manfred's terrible.
Manfred's probably the worst.
So
yeah.
I'd say Goodell's probably one of the better ones.
Silver's not that bad, but
He's just like the players own him.
Well, yeah, I mean,
which I don't like that.
That's the way that the NBA has been.
And that's what I don't like about the NBA. They have too much control. The players.
It's a very progressive league.
Hopefully the players don't hear you say that. They're going to drive out to fucking California and beat your ass.
Well, they're going to request a trade or something.
Hey, well, you shouldn't be listening to an NFL podcast then.
That's a good point.
Maybe you should go practice, buddy.
To follow up on our news earlier this week about the 2028 Olympics, Micah Parsons has come out and said he wants to build a super team.
Well, I don't know what role he would have in like flag football.
You like it? I would love him at linebacker. Who's running across the middle with Micah Parsons standing there? He's going to lay out those.
Who's he going to lay out? He's just going to
those Europeans. Those Europeans are going to get decked, and then
you can't. It's flag football. You can't do that.
You want speed.
Yeah, but incidentally, who's running across the middle full speed with Micah Parsons?
He's probably one of the faster linebackers you could get.
Yeah, the guy ran a 4.4.
Then sign him up.
It's close to what you ran. That's close to what you ran back in high school.
maybe on my 20-yard dash.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, that wraps up the news. Joe, what do we got for questions?
All right, to start off, we got Austin. He wants to
What's up, Austin?
Hey, Austin.
Hi.
Who will be more likely to be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Another one of these.
Or just a Hall of Famer in general? Wilson or Olave?
Oh, that's a good hypothetical. I mean, Wilson for me.
Yeah,
I know. What kind of fan would I be? I'll take the unbiased hat off. Wilson. Put it back on. Wilson.
Sweet.
Unbiased fans hats coming next week. By the way.
For me, it's so hard to say, but I'd say Wilson right now.
It's tough. They both look good. Both from Ohio State. Both very high first-round picks. They're both very good route runners. I think Wilson has a better tangible tools. I like his kind of build and his skill set more. I'm going to have to tag team with the unbiased Jets fan here, and I'm going to have to go Garrett Wilson as well.
Oh, I like that. That's a good use of third person because you are an unbiased Jets fan.
Aha. You got me there.
Thank you.
All right, next up.
I tip my cap.
Who will be more likely to be a first ballot Hall of Famer? Likes these Hall of Famer questions. JT, Saquon, Bijan, or Brees?
Brees, obviously.
Yeah, all right, there we go.
Unbiased fan hat on.
To play, so it was Brees, Bijan, Saquon, or
Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan. It's so hard to say because I wouldn't be shocked if any of them if none of them are Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think
because the way it's going with running backs, I feel like there's just not going to be a lot of new running backs going into the Hall of Fame because they're not going to have the work that these other guys had. So their shelf life just goes lower and lower.
To kind of go through them, Saquon's already 26, so unless he has a miraculous back end of his career, I don't see that happening. Even though I'm the biggest Saquon fan you can meet.
I feel like there's bigger.
Jonathan.
I'm just saying. I mean, that's a weird flex. You're 23, man.
He's my fucking
hero.
He's big, bro.
He's my fucking wallpaper.
That's true.
That's sus.
A picture of me and my brothers and Saquon.
All right,
an
actual say that.
Picture of
say
us.
that. Give context, because when you say he's my wallpaper, it makes me think it's just a picture of Saquon. I'm like
working out.
He's 26. You're 23. You're both dudes. It's a little.
I'm 24, motherfucker.
Oh, even worse. You're like he's like a father figure to me.
Yeah, you're just that's what you do. You just grab something, you run with it, and just throw shit in the wall and hope some of it sticks. To go back to the actual question itself. Taylor has led the league in rushing. He has one rushing title. That's good. He also had injury concerns already. That's tough. I mean, Brees already has an ACL injury, but Brees is still only 22 years old. I'm going to go Bijan just because Bijan's the best receiver out of all of them, so I think he's going to be the best with the modern-day NFL.
Got the most shelf life right now.
Yeah, plus that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The only reason I would say Brees out of the the only reason I would say, let me put this in context, because as long as Rodgers is there, I'd say right now with the teams that of all these guys, he has the best chance to actually get a Super Bowl ring. But who knows what Brees and Bijan's career will go? Will they join other teams? You'd think at this point, a ring for Saquon and even Jonathan Taylor, for JT, he just signed an extension. So what's he going to be like by the end of that contract? I don't think he's going to win a ring with the Colts.
Yeah, but I don't know how. I
think a ring factors in though.
I think it's definitely a factor, but I don't think it weighs as much as a quarterback. That's a conversation for quarterbacks.
But it depends.
But for a running back, if you're a Barry Sanders never won a ring and he's phenomenal. Derrick Henry's gonna be a Hall of Famer. He never won a ring.
But my thing is these guys what's gonna make them different? So if you're a 1,500-yard guy on that season and you get a ring, obviously they're going to point to it and be
if you're
a huge contributing factor.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so
that
would be a huge
if you win a Super Bowl as a running back and you have an average quarterback, you were obviously a monster part of that offense.
But that would be my reason because if the stats are very similar, you're going to give it to the guy who has the ring versus the guy who doesn't have the ring.
Yeah, but
that could be a deciding factor.
It could be, but I also don't think you necessarily need a ring.
Yeah, I don't think the ring debate for running backs is
it's not as heavy as the it's a quarterback debate, which it has its flaws. There's pros and cons to that debate.
Mm-hmm. All right, who is your guys' favorite under 23 player to watch in the NFL right now?
Well, I mean, I could say Brees right off the
bat.
Oh my God!
But if I'm not saying a Jets guy,
I'm not saying
a Jets guy. Oh, that's hard. I mean, I know you're going to say Bijan.
Well, I love because I like watching guys that just move different than everyone else, at that level, and Bijan does the cuts, the start and stop, the acceleration, it's McCaffrey back in his early days, that type of shit. Because I played running back, so I like watching running backs that move different than everyone else. So Bijan's definitely the top of that list for me. I'm trying to think of more.
I mean, I've liked watching Stroud so far. He's been really fun to watch.
Richardson was for me as well.
Yeah, Richardson.
Because I like the dual threat quarterbacks.
He was another player that looked like he moved different also.
And I also was a Florida fan, so Richardson for me before he got hurt was also up there.
You were one of those chop guys?
Chomp
Gators, baby.
And he also wants to know, will you guys ever do trivia again?
I mean, next year when we get into the division breakdown, but I mean, I'd like to figure out some sort of trivia aspect.
It would be it would be fun to figure out some trivia to incorporate. I just don't know.
Maybe in the off season when there's less stuff. It'll probably be an off season thing because right now we have so much to talk about in season. But in the off season when there's not as much going on, I think that could be something we could bring back.
I do like the trivia. We could do a 10-minute trivia.
We could have draft trivia. When the draft's coming around, and then free agency trivia we could do. So I think that's more of an off-season thing when there's less stuff to talk about.
We might incorporate it. It could be something we could do with one of our upcoming sponsors.
But glad you like it.
Did I just spill the beans?
What?
The upcoming sponsors? Was I not supposed to say anything?
Plug God.
Oh, we could do a segment sponsored by.
Yeah, we do. We have some sponsors.
We'll tinker with it. Yeah. We'll tinker with it. I like the idea.
We have some sponsors in the works, so you guys will hear about that on Monday, though. So that's a Week 7 recap.
It's a little teaser.
Big week for ATF next week.
Big week next week.
All right, next we got Jared.
Hey, Jer.
And on the
Hey,
other
Jer.
side of things, he wants to know who your 3 least favorite players are to watch in the NFL.
Kadarius Toney. That guy sucks.
Yeah, fuck Kadarius Toney.
Wow.
Catch the ball, Kadarius. And then he's hurt every other play.
I kind of like Tony because it's funny to hear these guys cry about him. He sucks. He's terrible.
He's doing a lot more crying about us than we are about him.
I'm gonna go Kadarius. I'm trying to think of really
Oh,
boring.
is he?
Really boring.
Do you think he's got a
guys.
podcast
Have
right
you
now and
seen-
he's like, Joe and Colin Tong are bums?
Well, I'm just saying the Giants fans in general, but you know what I meant.
Who else who bores the hell up? Desmond Ritter. God, that guy just
Yeah,
pisses
Desmond
me
Ritter.
off. That guy pisses
I
me
agree with
off,
that.
man. Because I want to root for the Falcons, and you guys know I like Kyle Pitts. I like Bijan Robinson. I mean, the guy's just terrible. Get him a
I
fucking
hate him.
football.
I hate him.
He's just bad.
You're not a fan. Damian Pierce is starting to become a guy for me like that, but I know
Why?
it's not even his fault.
Why
because
is he a
fantasy?
he's just like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
because he gets so many opportunities and he's like so not efficient. But I know it's not really his fault because the O line is terrible there.
Yeah, and all their starters were hurt for being.
He's starting to be like that for me. I mean, Ritter, like you said, he's not fun to watch. Mac Jones is not
Mac
fun to
Jones,
watch.
and also Mac Jones is like one of the
dirty.
dirtiest players in
Yeah.
the league. Mac Jones is a good one too, and also he sucks. I also just Ryan Tannehill came in my mind because he's so old and can't move, and he's just bad
Ryan
too. He just
Tannehill.
pisses me
I'd say
off.
Zach Ertz too, just because of the fact that like,
Wait, why?
Zach-
because the fact that Zach Ertz is still like the Cardinals tight end when they have a young guy and Trey McBride that's like so much better and younger and has the capital, and it's just like seeing the fact that you could have Trey McBride there and old man Zach Ertz is still there getting the targets. Don't love it.
All right.
Yeah, that's. I guess I get that one.
Lucas, if you're listening, I know you agree with me.
Oh, actually, Russell Wilson too. He's just annoying.
Mr.
Yeah,
Unlimited.
it's just
Not a player, but Sean Payton too. I just don't like looking at him on the sideline like crying all the time.
Oh, because he made fun of the Jets.
He's also a baby. Like if you
Aaron
actually watch the
Rodgers
games,
just
like,
complaining about the COVID vaccine any chance he can get.
I stand with my quarterback.
All right, and last we got a fantasy question from Bordeaux.
Hey, Ev.
What's up, Bordeaux?
In one league, I have David Montgomery, and I have been offered CeeDee Lamb 1-for-1. Is that a fair trade? Who do you guys think value is higher the rest of the season?
Wait. Is
He's
this
getting
like,
Lamb.
with the Montgomery? Is he fine? Is he like gonna play?
I think
I don't know. I mean, he's probably not.
Because
From
he
what I
didn't
saw,
finish
he's going to
last
miss
game.
time. But if I don't know when he put this question in, so like he could have put this in before the injury.
Yeah.
I would say wait as long as you can, and if Montgomery's not going to miss time, keep him. But if he's going to miss any time, I would do it. I also don't know your running backs and wide receivers, but Montgomery's been
Change
so
the picture. 'Cause
good.
if you have like 3 or 4 quality backs, and you can move them and get an upgrade receiver for CD, because like ultimately what you want to build is your best playoff lineup if you think you're going to make it. So it depends on the roster construction, but I mean it's so tough to say because CD gets picked in second round, maybe even first by some people, and Montgomery gets picked later. But it's just in that offense, there's so many opportunities for touchdowns running behind that offensive line.
Yeah.
And Dan Campbell loves that he's a bell cow. So it's like, in fantasy, he gets the volume.
I would probably hold Montgomery, and if you can, I think you could get more for him if you're going to trade him anyway. Like I feel like you could get CD and somebody, so I'd counter and try to get more.
I don't know if you get CD and somebody.
Dude, Montgomery's been so good for fantasy though.
I know.
And like as long as he's healthy, there's really nothing showing me that that's going to stop.
Yeah, no, 100%. But
because it's like even when Gibbs is healthy, he's like the guy.
And that's the thing is like they're bringing Gibbs along. Are they gonna let Gibbs cut into that workload more as the season progresses? Like I don't know.
Hard to
we
say.
saw is he just the Swift to last year's Jamal Williams?
I think he
Is
might
that what
be.
it is?
I think he might
Is that
be.
how it's gonna be all season? Because I
Hard
could
to
see
say
that
because
happening.
Gibbs has been injured the past 2 weeks, so we don't even know.
I could see that happening.
Yeah, so let's get into the Cowboys-Chargers game before we go to break.
Yeah, it's good.
Because obviously that was our big bet of the week. I think I actually came out on top on this one because the Cowboys did in fact cover the 2 points. They won by
Frustrating.
3, so it was close. Almost had it, but not
Almost
quite.
both of you guys were
Almost.
getting spicy.
But only Colin is so.
Yeah, we didn't realize the one chip challenge got banned because someone died. So I'm actually doing the Blazing challenge at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yes, he is. And the craziest part about that is me and Joe have actually done the one chip challenge before, and we survived. So
This guy's
It's
a
meant
survivor.
for adults.
so
yeah.
I guess you could say we're
A
survivors.
14-year-old did it, and it's
I
not
think
meant for-
we were like 18 when we did it. Like we were still pretty young too.
Yeah, so
That was
we
before
should have died,
you
but
know,
we're built different.
The horse tranquilizers.
Yeah, we could have
Before
really
then,
died.
yeah.
Like what if we choked on that spice? I don't know. But anyway, Colin's going to be, like he does a lot on this podcast, he loves sucking down food, and he's going to be sucking down 10 chicken wings.
Yeah, hopefully I can get through 10. I have a game plan. I'm just going to get them down as fast as possible.
Well, I mean, and honestly, for you, you might even get a free shirt out of it. I mean, if you
that's
can
the
get
thing.
it all down.
It's not really a punishment because I've wanted that damn T-shirt.
I
want that shirt.
You can look like me.
It's a
I have it. You want to look at that? What if the graphic was that? And then that on you, too.
Wait. I didn't realize the graphic this entire time was you in the fucking Blazing Hot shirt.
That's the Blazing shirt.
So think about that when you're doing that.
Episode 22, I just realized that.
So I might be coaching you up a little bit. I mean, you're talking from a guy who's done it,
That's
been there,
sick shirt.
done it. Yeah, look how sick it is.
Sick
Imagine
shirt.
if that was on you, how sick that would be. Because, like, I'm like
Not
a freak.
a punishment at
like,
all, actually.
I look like a weirdo, but you in that shirt, oh, that would be cool.
You want to take me out to dinner, too?
I don't know. I mean,
They don't let you drink any water, I'm pretty sure.
no
right?
water, no milk, no napkins, no anything. It's just straight up sitting there covered in sauce on your face. It's going to be messy, let me tell you, and it's going to be spicy, and you're going to want to quit. But from when I did it, I just powered through it, and you got to do it. Because if you stop and think,
It's all mental.
That's when it gets you.
It's easy. Just don't quit.
We were with someone, too, whose cousin was one of the people making the wings, so we told him when he came out to, like, make the wings, like, extra spicy for Reagan. So he was struggling, for sure.
Yeah, but Buffalo Wild Wings doesn't really have big wings.
Yeah, they're not
That's
huge.
not
so
the
you're calling
issue.
it?
It's not like the
okay.
food.
What are you calling?
It's not
What are
the
you calling me
food.
a fraud?
Yeah.
No, I'm
But
just
he,
saying, like,
they were loaded
logistically,
up with the
it's
sauce.
not like I'm gonna be.
It sounds like Joe's giving me my credit, and you're like, yeah, but they're probably small wings or something. Why don't you just give me my? Why don't you tip your cap, huh?
They were just soaking wet. It was
You better
literally,
finish
like,
that challenge if you're claiming for small wings.
It was
Oh,
like
I'm
soupy
gonna finish.
how much sauce they have.
because
on
it's gonna
this.
be like a whole fucking show in the restaurant. I'm not looking
Everyone's
for that
gonna be
part.
standing around.
Yeah,
Is that how it happens?
There are
a couple people
yeah,
will watch.
couple
I mean,
people,
I've been there
Well,
once
like
and saw it.
the workers.
Yeah, because they come over with a timer and stuff, and I'm sure like
And
there are
they
other
make sure
people
you
in
don't
there.
cheat because they give you the shirt, obviously.
Yeah, and who wouldn't want to watch some guy eating spicy wings?
Yeah.
Like,
Can we say it's my
Just to eat.
birthday? Because I love the chocolate cake there, and I've done it several
Oh, okay.
times where
Yeah,
I
that
say
could
it's my
be- that
birthday.
could cool you off.
Little dessert, chocolate cake is cooled off.
if they bring out chocolate cake for your birthday, I'm smacking that shit out of your hands.
What the fuck? All right, can we talk about the actual game now?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'd rather talk about what you're gonna do. But
I
that
gotta
works.
tip my cap to Dak Prescott. He played really well. Although the Chargers,
means a lot coming from a Giants
the
fan.
Chargers have led up the most passing yards per game in the league so far this year. So it was a game that he should have played well, but he didn't turn the ball over. I mean, I thought with 4 minutes left, I was like, "Oh, here comes the classic Dak interception." But no, he played well.
It does help when you're playing another team that's classic chokers as well.
Oh my goodness!
not like
Both teams were so sloppy too.
It was the Choker Bowl because
Yeah.
the Chargers have been just as bad. I mean, let's not forget what happened in the playoffs last year.
No, absolutely. The
So-
Chargers, they have so many stupid penalties. They're classic choke artists, man. Every game has to be close because they can't play a clean game, and
Yeah, I mean,
they're fundamentally not sound. But
and their defense actually did step up. I mean, they only allowed Dallas to have 20 points from what we've seen from the
Yeah,
Chargers.
I was surprised Pollard didn't have a bigger game. Like he obviously had that reception for about.
If it wasn't
60
for that big
60
reception,
yards,
he would have
but-
been bottled up the whole time.
Yeah, because they
It was
usually
really just that play for him.
get ripped on the ground. So I was surprised Dallas can get the run game going, but Dak stepped up. I still want to see him get the ball to CeeDee Lamb more because he made a ton of explosive plays. I think Gallup is trash. Stop throwing the ball to Michael Gallup so much.
You think you can shut him down?
No, I don't think I can.
So who are you to call him trash?
That's like you commenting on any player ever.
Why? You were saying my stats and how good I was in high school before.
Yeah, no one believed that.
All right, bring the camera outside. I'm running a 40-yard dash.
Jig is up.
I'd love to see you run. I don't know if you could run 40 yards without falling.
What do you think your time would be, Reagan?
I think I could maybe break 6.
I was gonna say like 5'4".
That's
know.
generous.
You think that's
I
generous?
just drank coffee, so.
What does that have to do with anything?
When was the last time you actually ran?
Oh man,
That's what I'm saying.
How far are we talking?
Like at all?
Like 100 meters.
Oh man, it's got to be some like
Like an
5-6 years, I guess.
Okay.
no, I'm kidding.
5'4", 8.
I believed it. I believed it.
No, we did.
Since your glory days.
Fuck.
5'4", 8 fucking half.
I don't know. I feel like I've gone to the gym with Dave before. We probably went on the treadmill one of those
he's
days.
famous.
Yeah, we probably went on the. Yeah,
Dave, have you ever gone on the treadmill?
yeah. I think
Have
we.
I seen him on the treadmill?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe one time.
No, that's just confirmation.
There we
He's
go.
ripping girls. He's ripping girls.
Yeah, I'm better. I'm like more of a
Yeah,
curl
he's-
guy. I'm more like.
Girls for the girls. That's what they say. That's your motto.
Fuck yeah, I'll take that motto. That's a sick one. Thanks. But anyway, let's get back to the game. What were you talking about? I don't even know.
Well, I already talked about Dallas.
Oh, well, if you're done, fuck. Okay.
Well, I will say Micah Parsons was shut down pretty much all game.
Did have a big sack at the end, though.
Oh, you want to steal my thunder? That's where I was fucking going with it. They were chipping him all game, and then, of course,
big sack at
big
the end.
players step up in big-time moments in big-time games, and he had that big sack. We fucking laid out Herbert. That was a big play out of him. I'd love to see it if you're a Dallas fan.
Gilmore with
on
the
Chargers side,
pick, too.
I do just keep fucking slamming Josh Palmer overs because this guy is just...
He gets a lot of
Herbert
targets.
loves him. He gets a lot of targets, and if that first
Well, he's
touchdown
thrown into
didn't
that
get
Mike
called
Williams
back,
role, too. I mean,
yeah,
as best as you can. I mean, Mike Williams is he's quite a big fella, so it's not like Josh Palmer.
quite a big fella.
He is quite a big
Yeah.
fella. I mean, I wouldn't call him quite a little fella.
Yeah, he's definitely a big fella. A lot of people thought Quentin Johnston was going to step into that role, and I have him stashed in a dynasty league.
I mean, I
but
keep him in Dynasty, but in
he-
redraft leagues, I think
Josh Palmer's
you
not
could
a
draw
small
along.
receiver either. Though.
Well, Quentin Johnston was always a guy that...
Yeah, he's not small, but he's not Mike Williams
Well,
size.
yeah, I know.
I mean, that's what we thought Quentin Johnston was going to be.
Yeah, but he kind of, in college, he was a big after-the-catch guy. He still needed to work on his route running in his hands, so it's not
TCU,
super
yes.
surprising that he's off to a slow start. So I don't think you got to worry about him in Dynasty yet, but redraft, he's not worth rostering at this point.
No, definitely not.
Josh Palmer is definitely the guy to get, and
Was
Palmer
good.
is going to continue to play well.
And Eckler looked good in his return. I mean, he wasn't on the field a ton. He was on a decent amount, but he looked like a guy that's like...
He had that nice screen pass.
Yeah,
that
I
he
mean,
took every game.
for fantasy, I wouldn't be worried at all. He didn't have the best game, but he was out there.
First game back, knocking the rust
so
off.
I
That's what happens.
think he's going to be back to a top 5 fantasy running back, if not top 2.
Yeah,
and there's-
absolutely. Especially if McCaffrey's banged up.
Plus, there's not a lot of guys that are involved in the receiving game like he is. So
Yeah, I like it. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to dive into these games.
Boys, it's Drock again. I've been loving these two goons go back and forth with their punishments, and this week, Tonger is going to Buffalo Wild Wings and trying the Blazing Challenge. Stay tuned for that.
welcome back in, guys. Let's get right into Week 7. So first up, we got the Thursday night football game. Could be interesting. We'll see. It really depends on if Trevor Lawrence is going to play, something we were talking about before. But the Saints are currently, 1.5 point favorites?
One
One.
point, 1 point favorite.
I've seen
that
the
line
lineup
will
is-
definitely move if Lawrence is ruled out and C.J. Beathard has to start.
Yeah.
The over-under set at 40, so Vegas expects a low-scoring game, as do I. Both defenses have played really well. Saints have been better than the Jacksonville defense, but Jacksonville's offense
They're
has been
picking
better
it
than
up.
the Saints.
No, but the Jacksonville defense has been picking it up the past couple of weeks. They've been
Absolutely.
getting better and better, it seems like, every week.
And that Jacksonville offense is really starting to find their groove
They
behind
look
Travis
good.
Etienne.
Yeah, they look
He's
good.
played well the past few weeks. I'm
That
on the
London trip was
Jacksonville
huge for them.
Jaguars. I know you're going to be on the Saints here.
I am on the Saints, actually. I will take the team at home that's coming off a rough loss. They just got punched in the face. I mean, you think the Saints aren't going to be pissed off? I mean, their defense is legit, and I'm even more on them, obviously, if Trevor Lawrence doesn't play. But even with him playing, I'm on the Saints. Jacksonville's been super hot. I think they're down for... They're due for a kind of a dud game, and I think the Saints, with this defense, are going to cause havoc, whether it's Lawrence or Beathard.
Yeah, I just think the Saints struggle to score 20 points, and I think if Trevor Lawrence is playing, I trust Jacksonville and their playmakers to get it done in a close one. I expect like a 2017 type of game.
Well, the thing for me with the Saints is I think this offense is going to get better as the season goes on, because you got to think, they didn't have Kamara the first
Can't get
3
much
weeks.
worse.
Well, yeah, exactly. Very true. I mean, they are getting Jamal Williams back, which you could say isn't huge, but I mean, he did lead the league in rushing touchdowns last year, so that's another big add. But Taysom Hill, they clearly had him super involved last week, so I think they're going to keep incorporating him more and more because clearly he's an asset.
They need a spark. And
he is that
Taysom Hill
spark.
comes in and he makes plays. You know,
And it
he
seems like
moves
Shaheed
the
and Carr
chains.
have that connection right now, and Michael Thomas has stayed healthy, so I think this offense is going to start figuring it out. Better days ahead.
Yeah, so we're opposite sides of the coin there. Let's move on. Buffalo, 9-point favorites at New England. Over-under at 41. Buffalo just came off that tough game with the Giants where, they let the Giants hang around in that game. New England lost another one to Las Vegas. I told you on Monday, Reagan, I am no longer backing the Patriots. I can't do it. Now watch, this will be the week that they cover, maybe win outright. I mean, who fucking knows? But I'm taking the Bills straight up, and I'm taking them to cover the 9. I think Buffalo's going to steamroll. One thing I will say, Belichick's notorious for taking away the number 1 receiver. I wouldn't be surprised because Diggs has been so good, and that's Allen's clear favorite target, like by a long shot, if Belichick starts to try to double-team Diggs. So I expect Gabe Davis to score a touchdown this week. I'm calling that one.
Yeah, I'm taking the Patriots to cover, but the Bills to win for me. Any game that is a division game for the Patriots, and they're at home. I'm always going to take them on the points. And if you're going to give me 9, like you said, I'm going to take it. That's a lot of points for
just burned me
Belichick.
so much. I
mean,
can't back him.
Belichick's played the Bills enough times to kind of have an idea of what they're going to try to run, and the fact that the Patriots, while it wasn't the greatest offensive performance last week, they were able to move the ball and get into the end zone twice. So I think they're starting to figure something out there with Stevenson and Elliott. So I think they rely on this run game that, Saquon Barkley lit up, and he wasn't 100%. He was a game-time decision. So the fact that
he had 2 big runs.
Barkley and the Giants, a team that really hasn't been effective running the ball all season, was super effective, gives me confidence for this Patriots team.
Okay. Next, Cleveland, 3-point favorites at Indianapolis. And when I saw this line, I was like, okay, Cleveland just beat San Francisco. Why is this line only 3?
I think it's because they don't know if Watson's going to play.
But Watson didn't play last week when they beat San Francisco.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. I just think they're not going to give them any respect if it's Walker.
I hear
because
it. Because
if you watch that game, they didn't win because of Walker.
Like that game,
because
of the defense.
Because of the defense, yeah.
I know. But I'm just saying, something seems off. I would expect it to be around 5 points.
I guess the Colts are better than we thought,
and
too.
Even with all that, I think it's a classic letdown game. Coming off a huge win. It just, I don't have a ton of faith in the Colts, but I'm picking them to win outright in this one. Yeah, I think Minshew and his mustache get it done. I think Pittman has a big game. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball in this front, but I don't know. I think it's a low-scoring game, and I think the Colts win by a field goal.
I agree with you on the low-scoring fact because the Browns have a sick defense. Obviously, we've seen that, and the Colts, not so much. Their defense has kind of been getting lit up the past couple weeks. For me, I'm going to take the Browns. Gardner Minshew really hasn't been impressive to me, and this Browns defense has been. I expect Watson to be back, but even if he's not, P.J. Walker proved he can still get it done or keep him in the game. Like, he didn't light up the world, but he also was going against the 49ers, so you may end up having a better game. So I'm excited for this Browns team.
I just trust Cleveland so much more at home than I do on the road.
Yeah, fair enough.
They just play so
I
much
get
better
that.
at home, so I think it's on the road, a big letdown.
And the weather
game,
usually
in my
does
opinion.
play a factor in a lot of Cleveland games.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Let's
I'm
move
going to
on
rock with
now.
Indy. Next, we got the Washington Commanders, 2.5-point favorites at my New York Football Giants. Over under 39. You guys know which one I'm picking. And not only am I picking the Giants straight up, it's also our big bet of the week. Reagan, do you want to let the folks know what our punishment is this week?
Yeah, so this week, our big bet, Joe came up with the idea of having the winner get to choose the loser's item that they will be riding on, because we're going to go down to the California River. For those of you who don't know, that's by us. And basically, when Washington wins, I get to choose how Colin crosses the river, so I can give him anything to ride in.
Giants are winning at home, baby.
Odds are that item's probably going to end up sinking on him, so he's
I already
going to
have my item. I already know it.
That's crazy. I haven't even given it thought, but I probably
just
should.
In my mind, it's a good one. It's a good one. You're going to enjoy it when you go down the river. When you
rock on, yeah, but obviously we're October. That water's not going to be warm, and if anyone knows where the California River, it's pretty nasty already, so the combination of how gross it is and how cold it is, it's not going to be fun when you sink.
Now, reason I'm back in the Giants, they are at home. It's do or die time at 1-5. The defense has looked really good the past 3 weeks. I expect Dexter Lawrence to dominate up front. I think Thibodeau has a sack against this porous Washington offensive line.
Yeah, that's a safe thing to take. You could say any D lineman on either team, and there's probably a better chance they get a sack than they don't.
I will say,
can't
Justin Pugh made a pretty big difference for the Giants front last week. They actually protected pretty well against Buffalo, who had the most sacks in the league coming into that game. So I don't know. If it's Jones or if it's Tyrod, I'm still rocking with the Giants. Barkley should be healthier. I think they get it done in another close one.
Yeah, I'm rocking with Washington here. Maybe I'll feel a little differently if Pennies is to play. But I think it's going to be Tyrod. And while Tyrod didn't kill the Giants, he really limits what this team can do. Obviously, we saw Dable came out with a very protective, half the playbook type of look, and he was just super safe. I think if Jones plays, and he's also played, historically while he's bad on prime time,
been very good
against Washington.
Yes.
So I got to give him credit there. If I'm going to fault him for being bad on primetime, I have to give him his credit when he's good against the team.
Yeah.
But I think with the way Washington's been playing, they kind of play to their competition, so I expect this to be close. And while the Giants haven't been great, I think Washington's not going to look great either. So I think this is going to be an ugly game, but I have them slightly edging them out because I really liked what I've seen from Sam Howell. So this is me rocking with Sam Howell and Walmart. Walmart, I'm rocking with your boys, so don't let me down here, all right?
Yeah, it was a close game last year when the Giants won in Washington, and last year when they played at MetLife, they actually tied.
It
was a weird feeling leaving the stadium last year after a tie. You don't really know how to feel.
It's a division game.
It feels like a loss. All right, let's move on. Atlanta is at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is 2.5-point favorites. The over-under set at 38. And we are both on Tampa Bay straight up. And you are on them against the spread as well?
Yeah, the line's low, so.
So my reasoning for this, even though I do have the bet with Reagan for Atlanta over wins for the season, just a terrible matchup with them. Tampa Bay's strength is their run defense, and that's all Atlanta wants to do. I have no faith in Desmond Ridder. And since the start of last season, Atlanta is 1-9 on the road. So I'm going to back Atlanta at home. I'm going to fade them on the road. Ridder is terrible. Not a good matchup for Atlanta in this one. I think Baker and the boys get back on track.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was pretty simple. The Bucs defense has looked pretty good all season, and Desmond Ridder, especially on the road, has not looked good. So
Not
for
at
me,
all.
I'll take the team that's been more impressive than me so far with the better defense and not Desmond Ridder as their quarterback. I'm not going to overthink it. Ridder, I mean, if Ridder comes out and lights it up, I'll tip my cap to him, but everything we've seen, I don't expect it. So
I hear you. All right, next, big game this week. Detroit at Baltimore. Baltimore's a 3-point favorite at home. Over under
I'm a
at
little
42.
surprised on that.
Yeah, I was too, and I think a lot of people are going to be on Detroit this week. I think the public's going to hammer Detroit, and I think it's a classic letdown game because people are starting to crown Detroit. Some even saying they're the best team in the NFC because the Niners lost last week.
Best team
and
in
so
the
did
NFL.
Eagles. And yeah, and I was going to say some people are saying they're the best team in the NFL. I think that's a little too early to be saying that. So I think Baltimore, they haven't necessarily looked great, but
No.
they are at home. I think they can figure it out here. And also last year, I know it's last year, but a lot of the pieces still remain from that Detroit defense against mobile quarterbacks in Fields and Hurts in 3 games. They got absolutely torched, and they let up over 100 rushing yards per game to those quarterbacks. So I think Lamar is going to be able to get going on the ground a little bit, and I think the Ravens win by a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, plus, if I am actually on the lines to winning cover because they've just been on fire, so I want to keep riding that hot head. Jared Goff has looked really good this year. Like
Really
I was
good.
saying, like MVP
Did
level
you see
good.
his, I don't know, I saw his stats. It's like over a 17-game pace if you pick up last year when they won their winning streak to now.
Yeah, he's like barely
It's
any
actually
interceptions either.
ridiculous. It's
He's
ridiculous.
been so
his
smart with the
stats.
football and having crazy
Ridiculous.
numbers. The only thing that makes me a little weary is the fact that if David Montgomery doesn't play, I mean, that he's such a focal point of their offense right now. But
And Gibbs is still questionable.
I would
so-
hope, as long as Gibbs or Montgomery plays, I'll be happy. But if both of them are out, I'm going to lose a little bit of confidence. But this defense has been playing well, and Jamison Williams coming back is also huge. Well, he did have some crucial drops. He did have a big touchdown last week, and I think that opens up this offense even more.
Okay. Next, the Raiders are 3-point favorites on the road at Chicago. Over under 37.5. This could be a game of backup quarterbacks. I don't know anyone that wants to watch this one.
Yeah, probably not me. I mean, if I'm watching the games.
If it's on Red Zone,
I mean, I'm watching Red Zone, but if I wasn't watching Red Zone, this probably wouldn't be my first game to throw on the TV.
No, absolutely not.
I am going to take the Bears just because they're at home.
You are taking the Bears.
I'm going to
huh?
take them. I'm going to take them to cover, and I'm going to take them to win. This is actually my upset pick of the week.
Whoa! He's been hot. He's been hot.
I know 4-2 on my upset picks right now.
He's been hot. If you're taking that, you're definitely in the green.
Yeah, I gotta look at it and see how many units you'd be up. But I'm gonna ride with the Bears here. Fields or not. I mean, it's just who do I trust? Do I trust Hoyer? Because I think Garoppolo is gonna be out. I think Fields might be out. So for me,
I
it's
think
like
they're both going to be out.
for me, it's like, you know what? I'll just take the Bears because they're the home team and I get some points on it. So
Yeah, I'm going to take Las Vegas just because Hoyer is actually a vet, not a D2, rookie. So, and I also think Las Vegas defense, led by Max Crosby, I think Crosby's going to have a field day against this front.
I mean, yeah, I can agree with you on
And
that.
I like the Raiders playmakers more so than I do the Bears. I mean, Jacoby Myers has looked really good. Adams had a slow past 2 weeks with the shoulder. Hopefully he's getting healthier. And I think Jacobs can have a big day on the ground against this team. So
Yeah.
I just trust their playmakers more. I trust Max Crosby. Even with the backup quarterbacks in, I think Las Vegas gets it done. And I also don't want to touch the Bears all season. They're fucking terrible.
Fair enough. Tell me how you really feel.
Well, I am. And Reagan, that concludes the 1 o'clock slate.
Yeah,
so
so-
when we get back, we're going to get to the 4 o'clocks and the night games.
What's up, boys? It's Drock. Stay tuned for next week. Big announcement for Around the Felt. But you know what you can stay tuned with? Drock's Lock, baby. He's 4-1, and he's going 5-1. Stay tuned for Drock's Lock.
And let's keep rolling, Reagan. We got the Cardinals at Seattle. Seattle is 7.5-point favorites at home. The over-under is 45. This is actually my survivor pick this week. I'm rolling with Seattle
This is one
at
of
home.
mine as well.
The Cardinals are who we thought they were. They're a bad football team.
I wouldn't say they're
bad.
It's hard to-
They're
I mean, they don't have the
dude. Their
starting-
roster is bad.
It's bad, but I mean, the fact that they're competing without their starting quarterback, they're better than I assumed, but I do agree that they're starting to come back down to earth.
Absolutely.
Because they have been competing in a lot of these games with Josh Dobbs.
And playing on the road in Seattle is no joke. Those 12s go absolutely crazy.
I would say Josh Dobbs has probably worked his way into a career in this NFL as a backup at the very least.
But he's a fine backup. If
Yeah,
he's your
but I'm
backup,
saying he's going to be
you know,
around for a very long time at this rate.
Yeah,
the way he's been playing.
He's fine. I think Kenneth Walker has a big game in this one. I think he continues his hot streak. I think he scores. I like his over rushing yards. That might be my pick this week. I just thought of that.
Little
That
foreshadowing?
might be my pick.
Little foreshadowing.
Yeah, a little foreshadowing. You know.
So you're
You never
taking
know.
Seattle to winning cover because I'm doing the same.
Yeah, because the Rams kind of rolled Arizona last week. You know, the offense has not looked the same since Connor went down. I don't trust Keontae Ingram to get going on the ground at all.
Big bounce back game for the Seattle offense here,
yeah,
too.
if you got to put it on Josh Dobbs, I don't think they have enough firepower to get it done.
And without Connor, we saw how different this offense already
yeah,
looks.
I just said that, but thanks for reiterating.
No,
my point.
I'm just reiterating. I can't agree. All right.
Yeah,
Fair
no,
enough.
I like it.
Fair enough.
Hey, as long as we're on the same page, we're on the same page often. I like it.
This week, I mean, there's not as many games, so I mean that right there and then. But also, I think Seattle's going to come in pretty pissed off. I mean, that was a game they should have and could have won last week. I mean, they had I think in the second half they had 5 red zone drives and only came away with 3 points. So
that's not good. You
And
don't
their
win football
defense-
games that way.
their defense has been looking legit ever since. I mean, honestly, since that overtime win over the Lions, they've really picked it up. And I mean, that's just guys like Jamal Adams coming back and being healthy.
And Witherspoon as well.
Yeah, him just coming into his own is huge.
I will say, keep a lookout for this because 2 weeks ago Chase absolutely destroyed the secondary. Last week Kupp did. Metcalf was a little pissed off last week. Maybe they try to get Metcalf the ball and feed him a little bit more. Keep their star receiver healthy and happy. So I wouldn't be surprised if they force feed him the ball and he has a big game against this Arizona team because they've been getting absolutely exposed in the back.
I like it.
All right, next, Pittsburgh at LA Rams. The Rams are 3-point favorites at home. The over-under, 43.5. I am on the Steelers, straight up and against the spread.
As am I.
Oh, wow. We really are agreeing today. I mean, even though Pittsburgh has scored 1 touchdown in its last 2 games, their offense is bottom 5 in points scored, yards gained, passing yards, and red zone. And they're 3-7 under Tomlin on the West Coast. So I saw that, I'm like, man, it just screams Rams. However, Steelers are coming off a bye.
Yep.
And Tomlin, he always has his boys ready to come out of a bye. And I think this defense has been so good that, TJ Watt is going to be able to get home on Stafford. Kyron Williams is out. I also think the Rams are not going to be able to run the ball. So, I think Stafford's going to throw the ball more than 40 times. So if Kupp has another big game or Nakua has a big game, I wouldn't be surprised at all, even against this great defense. But I think TJ Watt and Highsmith are going to pin those ears back, and they're going to have a big sack late to seal the game.
I can respect that. Yeah, I took Steelers just because they're coming off the bye. That's my big thing. Like, whenever you get a team off of a bye, especially with a smart coach like Tomlin, like you were just saying, he's got the perfect plan to stop McVay. Like 2 weeks for a guy like that, that's enough for me. Plus, I would imagine this offense will look better after they had a week off to adjust a lot more.
Again, they can't look much worse. And they've 1 touchdown in the last 2 games. It's not good, but they still have found ways to win games behind that defense.
Mm-hmm.
Next, the Chargers, coming off that heartbreaking loss to Dallas, which they absolutely screwed me. They are at Kansas City. Kansas City's 5.5-point favorites at home. Over-under set at 48.
I'm excited for this one.
This is going to be a fun game.
There's going to be a lot of points.
A lot of points scored when these 2 teams play. I got Kansas City straight up. However, I think the Chargers do cover. I think it's a 4-point game. You want to hear some crazy stats about the Chiefs? Reagan?
Let's hear it, stat nerd.
The Chiefs are 27-4 against the AFC West since Mahomes became the starter, and they have won 12 straight.
Wow.
And the Chargers led up the most passing yards per game in the league, and Mahomes coming off 10 days rest while the Chargers just played on Monday night.
So you said big Mahomes game.
I think it's a big Mahomes game, but I also think it's a big Herbert game because Herbert, historically in Arrowhead, has played really well. He has 10 touchdowns and 1 interception.
And he's going to have to play well because, like you just said, the defense is going to get cooked. So.
Yeah, I think they're going to be thrown all game. And last year, both games were lost by a field goal. So I think it's going to be another close one, a shootout, but I'm not betting against Mahomes in a shootout. I think they win the game, fail to cover.
So you're okay. I'm actually taking the Chiefs to just dominate this game, win and cover. I'm just gonna go with the side of history here. I mean, the fact that they've won 12 in a row, like, I just feel like the Chiefs will handle them.
You think they're gonna blow them out?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's gonna be like by a touchdown?
I think it'll be more like a touchdown, but enough to get the cover. I don't think it's gonna be like a blowout, but I definitely think the Chiefs will take care of business.
Okay, I hear you. Next, the Packers are 1-point favorite at the Denver Broncos, over under 45. I'm on the Packers straight up and against the spread. I know Jordan Love has struggled his last few games after coming out on a pretty hot start. But Denver has the worst defense in football, so if there's such a thing as a get-right game, this is a get-right game for Jordan Love.
Who do you got here? You said Denver?
Green Bay. No, I'm on Green Bay.
Well, I'm on Denver.
And against the spread.
But I'll let you say your reason.
Green Bay's also coming off a bye.
Yeah, so that bye...
and that helped Aaron Jones get healthy because he came back the week prior, but, he wasn't getting a full workload. So I think with him back and healthy against this Denver team, I think the wheels are falling off for Denver. I'm actually surprised you're backing him, given how much you hate Sean Payton.
I'm only backing him because it's like... what?
I don't know what that is.
It's probably your mom upstairs.
No, it's on the...
There's something scratching at the garage door.
I think it's the cat. It could be the cat. Sorry. This is great podcasting. So we're sitting here and we keep, as you probably are seeing on the video, we keep turning our heads like what the hell is going on. And there's a slight ruckus out there, so I think it might...
Is a raccoon trying to get in here?
Yeah, something like that. Something out there. I mean, but
it's definitely an animal.
Yeah, so I'm very confused. That's why
you open up the garage, you might get bit. Joe.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it.
It's a fucking.
That's your punishment this week. Go open the garage and
rabid animal just runs in.
Punishment. Go wrestle the fucking baby black bear cub outside.
Dude, I don't know what the hell's going on out there.
Yeah. Anyways, why are you on Denver?
Yeah, so I mean, to me, they're at home, and I feel like they always. I mean, it's with a lot of teams, but the Mile High really is an advantage there, and I haven't really seen a lot that I've loved from Jordan Love as of recent, and I would think Wilson, with how much shit he's been getting and how good we've seen him be, will step up enough to get it done. And I think this defense is more talented than they've come across as, so I think with the week off, they're taking it on the chin and they're going to improve. Because this defense was so good last year.
I still think the Packers have something to play for, though, and I almost feel like Denver has already sent and packing. Like they're just trying to get through the season. Like it's just a week-by-week thing. Like they feel the grind of the season where the Packers actually have something to strive towards. So I think morale-wise, the Packers have a big advantage. All right, next. Sunday Night Football. This is a huge game. The Miami Dolphins are at Philly. Evans, Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are 2-point favorites. High total set at 52. And Reagan, we're both on the Eagles straight up and against the spread.
Yeah, I think the main reason for me is the Eagles are going to be so pissed off after losing last week.
I don't see them losing 2
I
in a
just
row.
can't, and they're at home. Like, I can't see them losing, and, like, the fact that everyone's, like, talking about how good the Dolphins are, like, I just see the Eagles playing great defense, like, really shutting down this Miami offense, and honestly, call me crazy, I think Philadelphia wins this by double digits.
Wow.
Double digits,
That
yes.
is a
spicy
hot
I
take.
think they shut down this Miami offense, or limit them enough.
The offense that has the most total yards.
Yes, or limits them enough to get them a double-digit win. Because I think the Eagles' offense is going to look a lot better, and I think the Eagles' defense is going to look a lot better. I think they're going to take it personal. I think they're going to want to prove something. And
I think it's going to be like a 31.
You think these guys aren't listening to the national media? Like, the Eagles are one of the most talked about teams. You think they're not listening to it? Like, they're going to come in pissed off, and what's the best get-right game? That's on Sunday Night Football in front of everybody.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I mean, I'm backing the Eagles too, but I don't think they shut down this offense, and it's going to be like a 31-27 type of game.
Yeah.
Very high scoring. I do like the over, even though it's a big fucking total. But, Miami's faced one Super Bowl contender this year, and that was Buffalo, and Buffalo beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, that's another thing. I'm not fully sold on Miami yet.
And a lot of people are starting to doubt Jalen Hurts. He's got many interceptions this year.
Well, that's another thing for me, man. He's going to come.
And Jalen Hurts is a fucking grinder.
Yeah.
He hears it. I mean, he's got insane work ethic. He's a gamer. I think A.J. Brown's hot streak continues because this Miami secondary Thielen lit him up last week. Xavier Howard's a little beat up. So I think they're going to be able to contain the run game for Miami. I do think Tyreek Hill has another big game, but I think A.J. Brown does, and I think Philly wins in a shootout at home.
Yeah. All right, let's get another Monday night game.
Monday Night Football. San Francisco, 6.5-point favorites at the Minnesota Vikings. Over-under set at 44. Now, this one's weird because we're recording on Wednesday, and the Niners have a lot of injuries on offense, so that could I don't know. I don't think it's changing my picks. I have San Francisco straight up, but I do have Minnesota covering 6.5.
Yeah, I mean, the line will only go up. I'm assuming they're putting out this line 6.5 with the chance that it maybe goes down slightly, but I think if anything, if McCaffrey, all these guys are good to go, it's going to go up more. So I just feel like Minnesota at home, they get it done. Like, I think this is closer than people think. Like, I'm not saying the 49ers aren't going to win this because I definitely think they do, but I just feel like Minnesota gets it done.
I think, like a 24-20 game. A lot of people...
They played Philly tough on primetime.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with primetime games, man. Like, people see a big
When
spread.
the lights are bright, everybody steps up, it seems
It's
like.
either a sloppy game between, when you have a big spread, the underdog kind of hangs with them, or it's just a total blowout and you don't expect it. I feel like it's one or the other. I do think Minnesota's going to hang in this game because Purdy kind of got exposed last week when his top playmakers got hurt. CMC, Debo, and Trent Williams are all beat up. So if I'm going to lay a touchdown, I want confirmation those guys are going and that they're healthy, and I just don't feel that confident. But granted, it's the San Francisco 49ers. They're arguably the most talented team in the league. I still think they win this game on the road.
No, I mean, I agree. Not much more to add to that. So.
You like my point? You
like
my
your point.
arguments? I feel like you agreed with me a lot more today than usual.
I know that's not great podcasting, but I mean, I'm not going to change my picks just for the clicks, maybe we agree. Sometimes we might agree. Sometimes we might disagree. This week we happen to agree a lot, and I mean, for you, I get it. You're probably like, this kid's been killing it on the spread. So, killing it on the money line. I'm beating your ass in both of those, graphics...
No, you're up a couple.
The updated standings graphic will be up on social media
dude.
soon. Probably by the time you're listening to this, it's already up. So, check that out to see how we're doing this year. But both of us, we're doing all right. So, we hope we can continue to improve our records.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps up our Week 7 preview. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Big shit coming next week. Stay tuned for all that as well.